Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock.
My name is Danny.
And we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope you've had a great week. I missed y'all. I did enjoy getting to edit the podcast and getting to hear it myself, but did miss getting to talk to Jen Haston. She's always a fun person to talk to. Danny, of course. Holding down the fort, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It was a good interview for sure. I do like talking to Jen. It's always easy too because we know there's going to be a conversation. Don't always know where we're going to go with it, but there's always going to be a conversation. So that's good. And
Yeah.
I'm really delighted with what she's done since the convention and such.
Yeah, she's achieved a lot, which is really cool to see. I know that just with, being close to Jeremy and everything, and my wife talks to Jen all the time through text messages and stuff like that. Definitely keep up on what they're all up to. And I was proud to see that she got to go through her graduation ceremony recently, so that was cool. And
Yeah.
she's doing a lot, man. It's always good. It's nice to see people get to achieve their dreams and keep pushing forward for bigger and better things. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, you mentioned on the last episode that we were going to talk about Father's Eve a little bit, which Father's Eve was fun this year. It was low key, but had a great turnout for ours. One of the interesting pieces, because this was the past, is that my mom was still in town, so my dad actually came to Father's Eve again, which was really cool because that actually marks 2 years in a row, because he came last year, but that was actually planned.
Nice.
He's a big bowler, and we were at a local brewery playing duck pin bowling last year, and so he came down and played, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so he was there, and we had a bunch of different guys, and the really cool part is it was kind of a rainy day, and right before everybody was supposed to show up, it just poured. But I was not at my house, which is good because I don't have any cover. But we were actually up at my buddy David's house, and he's got full cover. So we were outside, but it was all like under a roof. So
Yeah, protected from the weather.
yeah. So it was good, man. Everybody brought like different things to cook up. One guy who I didn't expect to show up because he said he wasn't going to make it, like texted me, or no, he put in the WhatsApp group chat that, hey, I'm actually going to make it. I hope everybody likes sushi. I just bought a huge platter of it.
Nice. Good
That was
addition to the
pretty
party.
funny. Right. So yeah, there was nothing left after he brought that there. Like, it did not last long at all. So yeah, man, it was just a great time. I kicked off the first toast with Father's Eve, John Francis and everybody, and that was a good time too. And yeah,
Bud Bundy.
What?
Did you see Bud Bundy?
No,
Was
what?
hosting Father's Eve between our toasts?
No, I missed it. I only had Father's
I
Eve
didn't
a
even think
phone.
about it. I tuned in early just to make sure I had the connection, make sure I get it going. And he said,
Like, are we talking about the kid Bud Bundy from Married with Children?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The actor. Yeah. And it was, I'm like, what? How did you do this, John? This is nice. But yeah, he was hosting, I guess, for a while. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
until
that's news to
logged
me.
in. But it was cool. I mean, he's
He's got to be in his 50s by now.
I don't know. He's up there though. He's for sure. He's up there. You look at him, you're like, oh, you're kind of guy. Yeah, you're the age I would expect you to be. You grow. I get it.
Well, it's the same thing with, speaking of, childhood actors who, are kind of still, you see them, you remember, is it David from, what is he in? Is it Big Bang Theory? I can't think of it. It's Sheldon's roommate. Why am I missing his name?
Leonard.
You know what I'm talking?
Plays
yeah.
Leonard. I should
Plays
say.
Leonard, yeah. And then he played David and Roseanne.
Yeah.
Before all that, he actually was the kid from National Lampoon, like Christmas Vacation. He's Chevy Chase's son.
Huh.
And
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I didn't know that either until years ago. There was a side by side of it, which was really cool. So, but yeah, same kind of thing. You're like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I mean, if you saw him back with just the Chevy Chase and not the others, you wouldn't recognize him. But then you see him with the other shows, and you're like, oh yeah, he hasn't changed a whole lot. Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, like I've always said this, the celebrities are just like us. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They just might have more money in their pocket.
Yeah, it might be that.
So I think that's and that's another thing with, like, there's so many like podcasts out there for fathers or for fatherhood right now that are grabbing celebrities and talking to them, which is really cool as well. So I've kind of gotten into, like, I've always listened to the Art of Fatherhood, of course. Art Eddie, great friend of the show, great friend
Yeah,
of the
Art's great.
organization. But along with him, another really cool show that I've gotten to listen to from time to time is the All Pro Dad show, All Pro Dad podcast, and they bring on
Mhm.
some great people. I thought it was really cool. Like I used to be a huge Indianapolis Colts fan. I don't really follow them as closely, but back when they had Peyton Manning and they had Tony Dungy, the coach that actually was over Peyton Manning on the show, and he's
Oh, cool.
he's huge in the fatherhood. Like Tony's done a lot of great like things like for organizations for fatherhood and stuff like that. So they had him on his show, and it was really cool getting to hear his take
Mhm.
on parenting.
I think All Pro Dad came to one of the conventions. So I think they did a presentation at some point because they were hosting a event at schools that involved dads with schools. And so it's just like, I'm trying to remember, I'm gonna have to Google it to know all the things. But yeah, because we had our local at the school down in Georgia, and that they came in, and it was pretty cool. It was
Yeah, that's cool.
it was a really, I mean, it's a very sports oriented thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything
Mhm.
about it is sports oriented. So it was really neat how they use a lot of the euphemisms for sports
Yep.
to kind of talk about, this is the same thing as fatherhood. You got to get a game plan, you got to huddle up, you got to zone defense, when you have more kids and all of that. It was pretty cool because I did, basically it was just donuts with dad at the school, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. It's not, I'm not complaining about it or anything, but it really wasn't more, demanding or obvious in any way than that. But it was a neat little
It's a great cheap
moment.
bait to lure in dad and kids with donuts.
Donuts.
I mean, if you know, you
that's-
know.
Right? Who's going to say no to that? Very, very few people.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. Oh, free donuts. Okay. And you're gonna have like some like famous athlete there probably to talk to. Oh, okay. I'm there. Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there. So what did you end up cooking for Father's Eve? I know you said you had people just bring stuff.
But yeah, everybody
Did
just
you have
kind
the
of brought
grill
stuff,
going?
which was really cool. I did have the grill going. I threw on a huge, thick steak and cooked that bad boy up. Literally just salt and pepper, and it came off tasting amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, I just sat there and actually I cooked it up kind of right before everybody showed up so I could enjoy it since I was going to be hosting. And
Genius.
I had told some of the other guys like, hey, if anybody wants to show up early, I don't care. That's fine. Like, everything will be ready to go. And so I think there were like one other guy like showed up who's a regular. And so he and I just like chatted it up while I mowed down on this massive steak. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I should have eaten first. I should have been like the first person to eat it. I didn't eat until everybody was done. And
Yeah, it doesn't work. See, remember you gotta flip the coin on this. Remember, like it's just dad, so it's, they all can take care of themselves in that fashion. They're not
Well,
children.
I had families over, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
a lot of people, because I really wanted to meet everybody in town. I want to meet all of, I want to meet your wife, I want to meet your kids, I want to know who your family is, and I just felt it was easier for a lot of them too, because a couple coming from scouts and what have you, like, yeah, just bring them all. I'll feed everybody. You let me know. And so we did smash burgers on the Blackstone and brats and hot dogs. And, I think I didn't really do a lot of sides, just chips and pretzels. And that was it. But it was really good. And the 3 batches of hamburgers I made with my 15-year-old. They were great. They came out great. He helped me through the whole thing. I showed him how to do it every time. And I left him with the last like 9 burgers or whatever. And they were all undercooked, all raw in the middle. And we had I think there was 6 left, and I'm like, I want that one right there. And yeah, bit into it. And I'm like, no, we're giving that to the dog. I'm like, I'm done. Give me a brat, give me a hot dog. I'm not, I can't deal. I can't cook anymore tonight. But
You got to get one of them Kitchen King timers that you can set for them so that they have something to go with. Because yeah, kids for whatever reason are horrible with timing.
Yeah, I mean, he did very well keeping on the other ones, I guess, because I was just standing there. But the last one, I think he just wanted to get done and get hungry. He was hungry and it's time to eat. So, but everybody ate the burgers. It was good. Mine was not. I didn't want to finish it, but yeah, the other ones were like, oh, we'll do it, and we took the other. I think there were 3 left, and I just chopped them up and put them in spaghetti sauce the next day. Let them cook, and yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, by the way, this is why in kitchens they always have family meal before everybody else comes in. You got to
That
feed
makes
the
good
army,
sense. Yeah.
so you'll know next time.
I'll probably do the same thing. I mean, come on, let's just face it. It's not.
You
I'm
got the
smart enough.
programming, man. Break
You
the
know,
programming.
I do. I really do. Self care is best care, unless it's me, and then that's not the same rule.
Oh yeah, that was a good segue there because I remember Jen asking about how's your 5 minutes going
5 minutes,
whatever.
yeah.
I honestly, life has been so chaotic. I totally even forgotten that was like something to do. I'm like, oh yeah, good question. 5 minutes. Well, let's see. Yeah, I spend that about in the bathroom when I'm hiding.
Yeah.
That's a good
Right.
Definitely taking care of myself there. Let's see, 5 minutes. Yeah, I guess 5 minutes walking into my garage and hiding from my children for a little while, trying to figure out if I want to really clean this mess up or not. That is
Well,
another.
You're going to hear about this once this episode comes out. I just want you to be aware. This will probably come out on Monday or Tuesday, so there'll be a dad lounge on Thursday, and Jen's going to be there. I just feel it. Like,
I'm sure
what
she
do we
will.
talk about?
I'm sure she will.
Why don't you take your 5 minutes, sir?
take it at some point?
I'm sorry. I promise
I'm
I'll take care
sorry.
of myself.
That's all right. Well, I'm just glad that she listens to the show, and
Yeah.
I think also too, like there's a lot of female listeners that are starting to listen to the show. Having guests like Jen on, having my wife on, talking about perimenopause, that kind of stuff. Like, definitely a lot of different women that I didn't think, hey, like they take time to listen to this show, so that's really cool.
Yeah. Leaning into the name, it's Home Dad Chat. Why would women listen to that? Well, because there's a lot of things that intersect. It's like how we're talking about perimenopause. Neither of us are ever going to have perimenopause. It's not going to happen. Why do we talk about it? Obviously, because the overlap of the things that we might need to do for our partners or even our children someday, and understanding what's going on in a woman's life. And I think it's just the same. And also, let's face it, we're hilarious. We're very entertaining. Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't listen to this show? Come on.
Yeah, like every woman that's listening to this just rolled their eyes like with a big old sure.
Just waiting for the dad jokes. That's what they're there for.
That's what they're there for. Which, by the way, yeah, dad jokes. Yeah, that there's definitely been a slew of those running through the house here recently. So that's been fun because we've been stuck here at the house just with the fact of not feeling well. Yay, COVID! It's back in its own way. If you get that razor blade throat, go get checked out. This is your PSA.
I don't think I need to say this, but in case people are new listeners to the show, I was definitely wearing my apron that says "Hi, hungry, I'm Dad."
From the National At Home Dad Network, or
I got a new one with the logo on it. Yeah, and it's so nice. It's like embroidered instead of screen printed. I mean, it's literally just sewn in there. It's very cool looking.
That'll last.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah, and now I have two. I'm like, what do I do with the other one?
Give it to your wife. Let her wear it.
I'll find somebody to put it on.
Should just take a magic marker and scratch out Dad and put Mom.
Hi, hungry, I'm Mom. Doesn't work. It's a dad joke. You can't have it, but it did pretty well. Yeah.
Hey, so like you were saying, this is gonna come out, right before 4th of July, that kind of thing. 4th of July is kind of like that big, party hangout time. So I know that we just had Father's Day. There was a lot going on there. Right now, it's hot as all get out. Like, I'm not even thinking about going outside because, like, I walk outside right now and it's like immediately like dragon breath.
Sounds rough.
It's gross down here.
It sounds terrible.
I know. I'm sure you're hating it up where you're at.
It's
There's
64.
snow up there. Is it snow?
64.
Snow. Okay.
No, snow all melted. It's all gone. Finally, just last week though. Middle of June. Middle of June,
okay.
Finally it goes away. No, but I don't miss the heat at all. Again, living in it my whole life, I don't need that anymore. I've experienced that as much as I need to experience it. So give me some cold. And it's sad how hot it's been across the nation and how many people have been and I'm not looking forward to the potential reports from 4th of July for how hot it's going to be. Because I know down in Georgia, the 4th of July, I mean, you go to the lake, you stay in the lake, or you catch fire. Your choice. You choose. It's just one of the
we
other.
better get some rain down around here, or else they're going to start putting bans on even being able to do fire and then works. And then we're going to have a whole nother situation on our hands. And I've been in that situation before where you don't even get to shoot off fireworks because it is just so dry. So
yeah. Oh yeah. That's
worth.
But yeah, I am glad to be going to Minnesota. That's what we're doing. We're going to my wife's parents' cabin up at the lakes, and I don't know if we're doing fireworks because Grandma doesn't really like fireworks, but we'll probably do it anyway. Just go down to the lake or something. And it's amazing thing because they have like usually have several big families at the lake for 4th of July weekend, and you have a resort that's there too. And the resort is, I can say this thing was built in like the 40s, and the word resort is a real stretch for, but it's a bunch of just the old A-frame. It's just a roof basically with a hole in the middle you can sleep in, and it's great. I'm sure there's a lot of people that really enjoy it, and if that was your option, I would take it. I mean, it's nice, but they're all going to have their own fireworks that night. And every year so far we've been out there, one person will start, and then another person will, like, the person goes, okay, well, this is an A, and the second person goes, well, this is a B, and the third person goes, well, I've got a B plus, and then you've got the like fourth or fifth person that just goes, okay, we're going to K, just crank it at least halfway up, and then it just keeps going and going. And I can't see how these people have these fireworks and they're not professionals, because these things are big. It's amazing to me.
Fireworks are so much easier to get a hold of, especially big ones, than they ever were when we were kids.
When we were kids, yeah.
The things that you can get a hold of now, it's crazy. Like, we have a fireworks company here in Cincinnati called Rozzy. They're actually pretty popular, pretty famous, and started here. And you can actually even rent them for like small shows at your private place. Like, it's nuts. I mean, oh, hey, I got $1,000. Okay, great. We'll be there. Like,
right.
We got the whole setup. Like, it's nuts. Like,
do it all.
It's crazy, the stuff, you can get a hold of. I mean, the stuff that they make, like, just that you can buy, like the street stuff, like these massive powder kegs of, here you go, here's 1,000 kilograms of,
you'll be fine. Just pay attention to the instructions.
Gunpowder.
Run, Terry.
Exactly, yeah.
Get out of there, Terry. Poor Terry.
Terry with only 3 fingers in one hand.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the number of reports every year of people that blew a finger off, and I'm like, how? What did you? But I remember how, because I didn't get my hand blown off, but I had a little. They called them. Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought of something. I walked into Kroger the other day to their fireworks display, which everything is pretty much like just like sparkle type things. Speaking of things that people make that you just know, the person who made this, they're just trying to get people in trouble. They made a, like, it's not a Roman candle, but it is a sword, and you get 2 of them. So they're already asking for trouble.
Huh?
It's a 2-pack of swords that you can sword fight with that you light before you start the sword.
That's fantastic. That is a terrible idea, and I can't wait to see you poke an eye out. Something's going.
Every Gen X dad that walked in there was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
This is how we died when I was a kid.
Exactly. Trial by fire. Let's go.
And I remember like having fights with, they're called black
Roman
cats.
candles.
The little, and Roman candles. Yeah.
Roman candles.
And flicking
bottle rockets.
It's like, what are we doing? And I had a PVC gun that you could slot 2 bottle rockets into, light them, and just wait for them to go. I'm just like, how did we not catch fire? It's just but I got all mine.
Roman candle baseball?
No, I never thought of that.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
I was just running away from them.
No,
I think it's
you're
swatting
like
them back.
literally standing there with like an aluminum baseball bat, like pink, like.
So in Minecraft, I know you don't know this, so I'm gonna clarify a little bit. In Minecraft, you go into a place called the Nether, which is a horrible place, and there are these.
I know a little bit about Minecraft. My kids are into it. I know the Nether.
So there's a gas. It goes and it makes real weird noises, and it shoots fireballs at you. And there's an achievement in the game that you knock the fireball back. You hit it with your hand. I think it doesn't matter, and it goes and it hits and kills. And that's if I don't remember, but I hate me. Hopefully, put it in the comments. But I think I'm gonna play that game this year. I think I'm gonna play that game with my kids, because that's genius. Yeah, knock it back at me. Come on, and then just right. You need baseball lessons.
Right. Exactly.
Would it work with a racket?
I don't think it would be.
Or it'd splatter. It'd probably go through it.
It'd probably go through it. Pickleball
paddle. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. I don't know. All right, if I don't come back for the next show, it's because I caught fire playing pickleball with my wife with Roman candles. I hit her with one, and she got mad because she gets competitive when she gets hit in the pickleball arena, and she beat the crap out of me. Put me in the hospital. I could just.
Danny's gonna be on the show. You're gonna be on the show next time, just wrapped up like a mummy. That's what it's gonna be.
Hey man, we were recording today. Okay, I might have to stop and get some aloe. What happened? 4th of July, but it was great. We got film and everything. It'll be on every TikTok you can imagine. Look at this moron. Yeah, that was me this year.
Well, we have, so here in Cincinnati too, like we have some pretty big fireworks shows in different areas. Depending on where you are in the city, you can sit on certain hills and actually watch multiple fireworks shows at once.
Nice.
Which is pretty neat.
You got to have one on a barge, right? Down the river.
You'd
just see
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
However, they save that for Labor Day. We have a huge Labor Day fireworks show that's
Okay.
right on the Ohio River. Because there's two different like massive fireworks shows that take place in the area. Louisville has the Thunder over Louisville, which is the same thing, like barges and fireworks is huge. We have one at Labor Day, and it's always crazy. I don't ever go to it. Like they show it on TV. I don't need to get down in that crowd. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Corey and I went 1 year, and honestly, like I don't know that I really like they've changed up how they do it now. Like you used to be able to bring stuff down there and sit as a family, and they commercialized it. And now you got to like pay for all the food and drinks that you bring in, which is super annoying. It's like I don't need to spend $100 to watch a fireworks show.
Yeah.
But the year that we went, they had a Harrier jet.
Oh.
You know what those are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they had a Harrier jet that flew in, and there's these bridges. Like you actually sit in between two bridges. You get the Purple People Bridge and the Southgate Bridge.
Yeah.
And we're just hanging out there. And I want to say I had just gotten back from the Navy that year. I don't remember. But this jet decided that first he hovered in between the two bridges. So you just saw like the water like rippling.
Yeah.
Because they don't push the barges in place until like the last hour. So this is like midday show type stuff because there's things going on from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon up until the show, like 8 hours worth of craziness. He comes there and then he drops down to river level. And then he decides that he's going to show off, and he goes underneath the bridge and then flies off.
Nice.
And I'm just like, this is fantastic. I don't think that'll ever happen again because I'm sure he probably got yelled at for that.
Yeah. And yeah, he probably will never fly again. He or she is no longer flying. And Harrier is one of my favorite jets, one of my favorite aircraft. And I don't have a lot of favorite aircraft, I admit. There's only like two. But the first time I saw it, and it's, for those who don't know, it's a VTOL. It's vertical takeoff and landing, right? So
Yeah.
it just drops down, straight down, vertical like a helicopter, and then goes back up and then takes off. And it's incredible to me, the engineer to make that happen with the amount of pressure you have coming out of that machine, and just being able to, we're just going to turn the nozzle down and then we go up, and it's just wow. Okay, that was pretty clever.
Yeah,
I love that. I'd love to see one in person. That'd be amazing.
I've gotten to see
him
a few times for different things. Like they came to the Indianapolis 500 1 year, and that was really cool. This year, actually, for the Indianapolis 500, they had 3, I believe it was Apache helicopters that flew the track. They usually just fly over.
Sweet.
But these guys came in, and it was during the pace lap. So you had the entire field of cars, and then the 3 Apaches that were like leading them around. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's cool.
But no, like I got to see a Harrier up close when my sister-in-law was in the Navy, because she was on a vertical takeoff aircraft carrier.
Sweet.
And we went and visited her, and she got permission for us to come on and actually take a tour of the ship. And in the hangar bay sat a Harrier.
Good Lord, that'd be awesome.
And so I got to walk around it and check it out. It was fantastic. Just an amazing piece of engineering.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah. And I've been around it aircraft type stuff for forever, because I have friends who are like Air Force, like from my dad's friends and stuff like that. So, and I used to live near an Air Force base, so you get to see all that stuff. Now I live near Lunken Airport, and I get to see even more craziness come in here, because we got C-10s, A-10s, we've got Osprey helicopters coming in, and helos, and it, like, anytime that a politician comes in, they bring in Secret Service on different helicopters and stuff. Like you can just tell, like, oh, so and so's coming in. Like you could always tell when like the vice president or whatever like had come in, especially now because the vice president lives here in Cincinnati, and he doesn't live more than 15 minutes from my house, honestly. So, but yeah, I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed aircrafts, and so it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. Very cool. So what are you doing for July 4th then?
So for July 4th, I'm actually hanging out with Air Force buddy David McMillan, actually hanging out up at their place. They're having a huge party. They always have a big party at their place. He actually years ago built a slip and slide ramp. So made out of like pallets and stuff like that. And it's got he just buys like a huge, like, I think it's like the really thick, clear plastic or whatever. And he's got sprinklers set up along the way. And the whole time, like, it's just bottles of shampoo and whatnot and flying down this thing. And then he's got a pool as well to like jump into. So we'll be hanging out there with a bunch of families, eating really
Neat.
good. And then typically he goes out and gets a bunch of fireworks and shoots those off. I tend to help him every once in a while with it. So that's always a lot of
Mhm.
fun too.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So it'll be
Nice.
nice to get out of the house.
And I don't mean this to sound lazy, but also you're doing it at somebody else's house. And yeah, I'm sure you will help clean up. I'm sure you will make sure your
Oh, yeah.
kids stay things cleaned up and organized, but it's still not the same as doing it in your own house and having to clean up everything after. So good on you. Thanks, David. We appreciate you hosting Brock.
Well, we
Get some night
usually
off.
and we usually go up the day after. I'll go up the day after and help like clean up some things because cleaning up at night is not.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We finished our party on Father's Eve, and I told everybody, like, no, we'll just take the food in, do the things we have to do, and I'll come out in the morning. We put out the fire at least, and that was good. But everything else, I'm just going to like. Now, the cool thing is my friends ignored me, and they all cleaned up everything anyway. And so I basically had to go out and move the chairs back and stuff, and that was it. It was amazing. I did not want them to do that, but I'm really glad they did because
That's when you know you have
it's a
really good
pain.
friends. That's when you have
Yeah.
good guests.
I do. I definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually, the other thing with Father's Eve too was, I had said like, hey, yeah, it's going to be from like 7 to 10, come and hang out, that kind of thing. It wasn't until about 9 o'clock that guys actually started lighting cigars. Oh,
Yeah.
we were there for a little while longer.
Yeah.
But,
Good.
But it was fun. I mean, there really was no like hard stop time or anything like that.
Mhm. Well, and to that type of thing, well, it's like this. We often get into a conversation either between the two of us or with a guest or what have you that we just want to keep talking about things because we're getting that energized, from talking about these things that are interesting or learning stuff or just seeing how somebody else sees things that we wouldn't have thought of. And I find that all the time when I hang out with other dads, and
Yep.
I've got a lot to learn about being. I'm not going to say I'm a horrible dad. I don't mean like that, but I do have a lot still to learn about being a dad. Even after 18 years, I'm still picking stuff up, and I love talking in conversations like that. And maybe it's not about fatherhood. Maybe it's not about raising kids. Maybe it's about just the local sports team. Wherever you're at. I don't want to say a
You're
name
not
so many goes, I
wrong.
hate those guys.
Yeah.
Right. It's just enjoyable, and you don't want it to stop. You don't get it often enough. So
Yep. That was the situation, actually, because there was some great conversations that were taking place. One in particular was a dad who works in a field. I'm not going to get too much into it, but basically, like, he works in a field that is highly, highly sensitive information wise and just actions of things that go on. And in the sort of the confines of everything going on political right now, he's right there in the thick of it. And I think he really just needed to be able to share what he was like, what he's doing, but without like great detail. And also, too, I think to just sort of feel out how do these guys like, where do I like, can I share this and it be a safe space and
Right.
like feel supported in it? Because like I'm dealing with heavy things. I can't talk to my kids about it because he has young
Exactly.
kids, and I'm not gonna burden my wife completely with it, but I need to hear from other dads how this goes. And so I think it was really awesome that conversation was going on because I don't think it's a conversation that could have been had anywhere else. It was just such a safe space for it. So
Right.
so that was really cool. I actually had another dad who I know his situation, and we've always talked about on Father's Day, if you have the ability to be there for another dad or whatever it is, like, try to make that happen if you can. And that was a situation with me. That's the other thing. Like, so for Father's Day, this guy, I know him from church and I've hung out with him quite a bit. And he's a brand new dad. His child was born like last winter, and he's not married or anything like that. So it's a baby mama issue. And our situation actually with an issue. And he wasn't sure if he was even going to get to see his kid on Father's Day just because of how crazy he was. So I was like, hey, like I typically get to do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to go like play some disc golf. And I was like, do you want to go get some lunch? And he was like, sure. So we met up after church, got lunch, hung out and talked for a bit, got some details on what was going on. He was waiting to hear back from her on if he was going to get to see her. And I said, okay. And we didn't hear anything after we ate. So I was like, I'm going to go play disc golf. you can come with. So we went and played around. And at the end of the round, he finally got a text message saying, hey, you can come over whenever you want and see your kid. So that was really cool. I got him to send me some pictures. So that was great too. But yeah, I mean, I would not want to be in his situation if I had to be just like pining, waiting around to hear if it was going to happen. That would drive me nuts. I mean, I would
Yeah.
just, it would be too
Yeah.
much. So yeah, it was good. It was real good.
I'm glad. I'm glad you had that. And it's very important, I think, for us to reiterate that a big part of what Father's Eve is just getting together with other dads you can trust and that you can hang out with and you're not going to be judged. And that everybody can have a Father's Eve event. Everybody. You just ask one other dad, you'll go hang out and just talk about whatever. In my opinion, what John Francis is looking for is just getting dads to spend time together the day before Father's Day and just realize how, I hate to use this word, but how special it is to be a father, to be a dad. It's a very, very important thing in so many people's lives. And we really don't realize how much effect we have on the people around us. Have an event, guys. Just find one other dad and y'all hang out. And that's great. And maybe the next year they'll be like, hey, maybe we can invite this guy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And slowly build it up if you need to.
Yeah. And I always try to have
no problem asking anybody. So I just tell everybody. I had a guy in Target. This Target was the only store around here, unfortunately, that had something we really needed to buy. I'm in there with my kids and I'm talking about how Crocs are the worst shoe in the entire world because of idiocracy, because the costume agent said, I need a futuristic looking shoe that only, honestly, no one would wear. And even the producer said, what happens if they become famous one day? And no, this is the truth. And the costume never happened. This is not a shoe you want to, and every person in the future in idiocracy is wearing Crocs.
Love my Crocs.
And I'm explaining that. I know. That's it. It's the irony of how wrong that costume person was, I'm sure. But I said it I was mentioning it because I wasn't going to buy my kids Crocs for what we needed. We needed sandals, not Crocs, basically. Crocs weren't going to work for it. And I mentioned this and the guy, just broke in. He goes, yeah, right. Because I'm like, did you see that? He goes, yeah, I just read that 2 weeks. I'm like, instant best friends. And it was great. And
over Croc hatred.
Yeah. Well, Croc facts. There was no hate.
Facts.
It's just the understanding that this is what happened. This is, we don't all have a beautiful, amazing history. We have something. Maybe we shouldn't be wearing Crocs because they're horrible. I hate them. I hate them worse than flip-flops. And man, flip-flops have always bugged the crap out of me just because of the noise. I don't want to walk around flip-flop, like
I hate
like one of those lizards that runs across the lake.
Yeah.
They run so fast. That's what I think it'd be making flip-flop noises the whole time.
A bass.
And it just like, stop. Don't wear those.
Yeah.
And Crocs are even worse. And my kids, of course, when they wear them, wet feet, and then they're squeaking out every time they walk in the Crocs. I'm like, man, you need to put that strap on or something. Stop sliding in those things. But they're wonderful shoes for people who love them. So I'm trying to be open-minded and kind, but I'm not a good person. I don't even like an open conversation. Yeah, we'll leave that. We don't have to make decisions about Crocs.
Well, yeah.
Make your own decisions.
Everybody make their own decisions.
So,
well,
all right, man.
Yeah. So, hey, this has been great. One last little plug I'll give, and then we'll get out of here is I believe we're coming up to like the last month or so here of being able to purchase general admission tickets for HomeDadCon. So if you're hearing this and you're like, I don't know if I'm coming or not or what's going on, just know that deadline is inching closer and closer. So decisions need to be made. So that's cool. And also too, it seems like there's going to be a pretty big class of scholarship recipients and a lot of attendees. So
yes,
that's pretty exciting as well. So those kind of things are what's happening. So definitely check out, at homedad.org or homedadcon.org to get information on those things that are going on. And hopefully we'll see you in San Antonio in just a very short few months. But until then, y'all have a great week and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.